Hello there, I'm the student, and today I have again a very special tactic strategy for you where I'm going to show you that only the United States of America can do this very unique trick of converting only 60 admin power into 4,000 ducats. And I would say that this is actually the almost infinite money strategy. So let's get right into the video with the estates of the United States. So yeah, you can see a pretty normal game of the USA over here. You can see 1601. We are of course the number one great power, mainly because I have a giga Spain under my personal union, as you can see, which is still because I started as Aragon over here. You can see no Aragonese cores here because I gave it away. Anyways, let's get started with the actual tactic. And the tactic is based on a very special fact for the United States, which is, if I open the estates window, you can see that the United States literally only has the Burgers estate. And there are actually two reasons for that. The first one is that the unique American Republic disables the nobility estate. I have to mention over here that the same thing would also work for Peasants Republic. So half of the strategy would also work with a normal Peasants Republic. But of course, there comes the second special thing for the United States, which is that the tag, so the nation of the United States, has a special condition that it does not have the clergy estate unless it is a theocracy. And now, if you already thought about this, what I said just a second ago, then you might have come to the conclusion that a theocratic United States actually has all three of the estates, right? Because a theocracy has the clergy estate, and a theocracy wouldn't have the American Republic, right? So the difference between being theocracy and Republic United States is literally two entire estates, okay? And that is actually what the strategy is based on, because you see, I have, of course, the ability to switch to the government types with the Tier 6 government reform, okay? So I can switch over here to the theocracy government type, and I'm just going to do that to show you what happens then. Of course, I will become a theocracy, right? Now you can see, as I'm a theocracy, if I now go to the estates tab, you can see that I have literally all three of the estates. And now what I can do is I can literally grant privileges to the estates, right? Including monopolies. And you can see that I can give out a monopoly on wool over here for more than 1,100 ducats, okay? And that is because I have, of course, a lot of wool provinces that you can see over here, mainly over here in Mexico. Over here, I deft them, I put a manufactory in all of them, and that is why these 8 years of production income that this monopoly gives me is actually worth 1,100 ducats, okay, and 1 mercantilism. So I can just have a look on the mercantilism right now. It's 27, okay? So I can just give out this monopoly, and I can start with 800 ducats over here. I can just take this monopoly and get 1,900 ducats now, okay? Now I can of course do the same thing for the nobility estate, which funnily enough is called planters over here for the United States. But anyways, I can also give monopolies out for the nobility, which you can see is the same thing. I have a lot of livestock provinces, I build manufactories in them, I build workshops in them, and therefore this monopoly of 8 years of production income from these provinces gives me straight up 1,900 ducats and 1 mercantilism. So I can take that. And same also goes for the copper and iron provinces, which I don't have as many from, but still it gives me 530 ducats and again 1 mercantilism. Okay, now the biggest problem with monopolies is of course that you won't get production income for that anymore. So you can see right now I get 0 production income. So in the end, I'm losing 2 years worth of production because after all this only gives me 8 years, but the privilege is active for 10 years. Normally. Because keep in mind that an American republic does not have the pastors and the planters estate, okay? Which means that all I need to do now is to go through the reforms over here. Yeah, grab this one if I'm already on the run here. And all I need to do is now switch to a republic again through the tier 6 reform again, which by the way right now is totally free to take because I had that already, right? So it does not cost me any government reform progress, okay? The only thing that it costs me is stability. But now if you have a look at my stability, you can see that I have stacked so many modifiers. You can just have a look on them. I won't mention each one of them individually, but you can stack so many stability cost modifiers that not only the step from up to +1 is the minimum of 10, but you can also see that I've stacked more than 150% stability cost reduction, which means that even stepping up from +1 to +2 also only costs me 10 admin mana. Okay? And now if you keep in mind that this switching over here on tier 6 costs you actually 3 stability, you can see that lose 3 stability. This means that each time I switch, I pay 30 admin power for that. 30 admin power, okay? Which means that within one entire loop of switching to a theocracy back to a republic, and then do the same thing again and again and again, so on and so on, each one of these loops where I get money will cost me only 60 admin power, okay? And in return, you can see I started at 800 points, right? So in return, I get more than 3,500 ducats. And this ducat number is, of course, scaled to my production income of, livestock, wool, and like iron provinces. So I could theoretically conquer way more of them and get even more ducats for that, right? But I think this is already more than overpowered enough, so I'm just going to do that right now until I have no longer admin points available. By the way, I'm super far ahead in the technology over here, and I still have 2 stability sitting over here. So I'm going to do this loop as I did right here now until I don't have any more admin power, and then we'll see where I end up. So let me just finish off this loop by switching to a republic again. There we go, another stability drop. And now if I enact the American Republic and let 1 day pass, you can see there is no more clergy and nobility estate. And just so that you know that I'm not tricking you on anything, just let me step up over here. Now you can see if I switch back to the theocracy government type after spending 30 admin power again, of course, you can see if I go to the estates tab and let 1 day pass again, you can see that I get both estates back again without them having the monopoly, okay? Which means that I can now grant the same monopoly that I granted 2 days ago again for the same amount of ducats, for the same amount of mercantilism, which will stack up to 100 very fast now. So I guess it's also a infinite mercantilism strategy over here. And yeah, just if you ask, this one over here seems to somehow only trigger once. I don't know why, but yeah, I can get 1,300 ducats once as well. I don't know why it doesn't trigger every time, but I think the money is already more than enough. So let me just do a few loops until I'm out of admin power, and then we'll see where I end up in terms of my treasury. Okay, and that is it. You can see 1 month passed and nothing really changed. You can see my income is still the same. I have still the same production income, as you can see. But there is one thing that is changed. Actually, two things, but one thing that you can see already, which is my treasury, where I have right now not 800 ducats, where I started with, but instead I have now 70,000 ducats in my treasury. If you calculate that down, I had like 1,000, 1,200 admin power. That means that I literally got around 60 ducats per 1 point of admin mana. Which, if you think about it, if you get an event where you can choose to lose 1 admin power but gain 60 ducats, you would definitely do it, right? And that is not even everything, because remember that monopolies also give, of course, mercantilism, which I could now have the same, amount of the times that I clicked to take the monopolies. You saw that probably in the time lapse, but you can see now when I go to my trade tab over here that I have now, instead of 27 when I started, I now have 87% mercantilism, which of course increases my provincial trade power by a lot, actually, as well as my embargo efficiency and burgers loyalty. This is not only an almost infinite money strategy, it is also giving you basically 100% mercantilism right off the bat. So this is it. This was the strategy for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you can use that. One little side info, actually, there is a fun little trick that you can do that works basically the same with the Indian estates, where the estates are culture based. So you can switch out of the culture based estate and then switch into it again to gain the estate and lose the estate again, and then do the same thing with the monopolies for that estates. So if you want to play in India and do that, you can definitely have a look at their estates as well. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, we are going to see on the next Monday or on Wednesday on Parabellum, where I'm going to be competing in the main tournament among 5 other great content creators and EU4 players, namely Flory, Slavic, Absolute Habibi, Orbis, and Kara. So definitely check out the YouTube channel Parabellum or the Twitch channel and tune in when I'll be competing on that show in a 1v1 on Wednesday. Have a great day.